Stephen A., which team do you believe will be the most ready when play returns?
Lakers. That's the way I'm going with this. Listen, when you look at the Clippers, that's fine, and I'll leave that to Max, I think. It depends on who he's going to pick. But here's my mentality about the Los Angeles Lakers. It's not about the number of players who will be ready. It's about who matters. And who matters is LeBron James. Now, you could make the argument about Kawhi Leonard because there's no load management to lean on. Obviously, he's getting plenty of rest. He's received plenty of rest, unfortunately, because of this coronavirus pandemic. But at the end of the day, I'm trusting LeBron James. I'm trusting his experience. I'm trusting his brilliance. I'm trusting his work ethic. And I'm trusting his postseason experience. You can sit up there and debate all you want to about LeBron James being 35 years of age. Consider the fact that he missed the playoffs the previous year, comes back this year, is a top 2 candidate, arguably the leading candidate for league MVP honors, and then now you're going to be coming back with additional rest on that 35-year-old body in its 17th NBA season. You combine that with the fact that the man is about 2 years removed from going to 8 straight NBA finals, for crying out loud. And what do you have? You have a person that's incredibly knowledgeable about what it takes physically to have yourself primed and ready to go. I trust LeBron James, and I trust the impact that he's going to have on his teammates, including Anthony Davis and others, more so than anything else. That's why I say the Lakers.
The answer is the Clippers. If there were regular season games, I would agree with you, Stephen A., but you talk about it's LeBron who needs to be ready to go. LeBron is more of a facilitator now than he's ever been in the past. He's really a point guard this season. And what he's done brilliantly, because the Lakers have the best record in the Western Conference, since the beginning of the season is get the guys on the same page, is establish a rhythm and chemistry. Even when Kawhi got him, opening night, the whole, and not to mention Christmas, even then, I did have the thought, LeBron, and you were talking, and I was talking about how passive LeBron was in certain respects, about the challenge of Kawhi, but that's because Kawhi is the scorer. Kawhi has one job on the Clippers. LeBron's job is really orchestrator, and he had to make sure that his guys, and he even did this to a lesser extent with the Cavs and the Heat at times in the regular season in the past, he had to make sure the guys he was going to rely on were ready to go in the moment of truth. And that takes a lot of work as a point guard and point forward, whatever, and the chemistry and the rhythm was set, which is why they were peaking when this thing went away, when social distancing occurred. They had just beaten the Bucks and the Clippers. They were peaking right then. It took a lot of work to get to that level, even though they'd had the best record most of the season. But to get to that level took some time. So if there was regular season games, I would agree with you, Stephen A., because it would give LeBron enough kind of runway to get ready for the playoffs. But if we come back and it's just playoff basketball, that half-court Clippers, Kawhi, Paul George, Patrick Beverley, Lou Williams. By the way, Shannon is going to be able to hit the three no matter what. He's just a shooting fool, right? Like, he's not going to need a lot of runway. Lou Williams is going to get buckets regardless. He doesn't need all this runway to be able to score. Lou Williams was born scoring. Patrick Beverley is going to be able to play defense and hit the outside shot when you need him to. And Paul George and Kawhi Leonard's games are less reliant on the kind of interdependency of the team than what LeBron brings, and therefore what his complementary pieces are relying upon. So if we start with playoffs, this helps the Clippers, who get the rest for a team that has not been able to play their two best players together enough this season.
Well, Max, this is the thing. I respect where you're coming from with this, and there's a lot of people that I'm sure would agree with you about the Clippers. If you look at the collection of talent, and that's what you're viewing, combined with the coaching, Doc Rivers, Ty Lue, Sam Cassell, who doesn't get enough love. My brother Sam Cassell, he's gonna be a head coach in the NBA someday soon because he deserves it. But you know what? The Lakers have Phil Handy too, who also deserves to be a damn head coach in the NBA, by the way. But let me go to that later. Here's where I'm going to. You're looking at the teams. I'm looking at who's gonna be called upon when it counts. I'll take you back, Max. It might make you smile. It might make you a little bit depressed. You remember when the New York Knicks went to the finals, right? And you remember when John Starks, our buddy, unfortunately had an awful game, 2 of 18 shooting, 0 for 11 from three-point range. Don't get about it, it depressed me. If you recall, one of the greatest things, it might have been the most time anyone's ever been ultra critical about Pat Riley. Why? Because you had Rolando Blackman, who you had acquired. And why is he on the bench when he was one of the great shooters in the game, although he had aged? If nothing else, he's going to make open shots. Why would you not have him on the floor? What I'm saying to you, come postseason time, stuff tightens. And as a result of it tightening, that roster that you're looking at, some dudes don't play. And even the ones who do don't shoot because they're not called upon like the others are. That's why I'm going with the Lakers. I'm not looking at the Lakers collectively and saying, oh, they're better prepared than a Doc Rivers team with Sam Cassell and Ty Lue on his bench. Even though I like the bench of the Lakers, Vogel's done a hell of a job, okay? Listen, I told you about Phil Handy. You see everybody else that they've got on that bench with him, all right? We get all of that. But in the end, who's going to be called upon? And what I'm saying to you is LeBron with AD against anybody in terms of who's going to be called upon and who's going to be ready is what I'm leaning on.
I recall on this show, I don't know, a billion times, you sitting up here and talking about how in the playoffs the game changes. It slows down. It's more of a half-court game. The Clippers, if you have the rest of the regular season to ramp up, that's one thing. But if we just start with the playoffs, Stephen A., the Clippers are built that way.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.